Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the DPL Fall Major Finals with Nemesis versus Global Breakout. I am joined here by my co-caster, Index.
Hello, hello.
Well, we find ourselves at the precipice. Two teams have finally made it. Nemesis actually had a little bit of a stumble, so Global Breakout also proving that they can tango. So what do you feel about the game so far coming into this?
Yeah, it's been a really exciting major so far. We saw some fantastic upsets. Pogfish making a pretty surprising run deep into the major. I don't think a lot of people expected that. Obviously, we saw some favorites. Nemesis, Global Breakout playing really well up until this point. They even went head to head a little bit earlier, and Global Breakout had the surprise upset against them, which I believe is a DPL first. On top of that, we saw depth going out a little early. I think that was a little surprising for people. So overall, some really great games, really close competition. It seems like people are coming into this hungry and ready. Um, and that takes us to today. Global Breakout versus Nemesis in the finals of the Fall Major. This is huge. Up until this point, Nemesis have been the reigning champions. They have been practically undefeated throughout their time in DPL, and this tournament is the first time we've seen them look mortal. Obviously, Global Breakout have been a really exciting up and coming team, and they're very hungry to show what they have. This is their first time competing in a DPL event. They were in the previous season of DPL Rivals. So they're very hungry. They really want this. They want to show what they have. And Nemesis slipped a little bit in their game yesterday. They went down to Global Breakout 2-1, and so they have a little bit of proof. They have a little bit to prove here. I think Nemesis want to show that they want to cement their legacy. They want to continue being the dominant team, and not give up any ground. And obviously, Global Breakout are hungry for their first tournament win.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a very interesting series of games here as we start getting ready to go into this. But looking at the two sides here, what do you kind of expect to see from both of these teams?
Yeah, I actually didn't get the chance to watch the game yesterday because I was casting the Pogfish match against Yakuza. So I have not gotten the opportunity to see them play yet in this tournament. So I'm really excited. They're both very aggressive teams. They have this kind of, no hole, no, restrictions, full aggression, fast gameplay. On attack in particular, Nemesis are easily the fastest team, taking advantage of flashbangs to take up map control as quickly as possible and executing on short path to sites, and just winning, aggressive gunfights. On the other side, we have Global Breakout, also a pretty aggressive team. They're known for a pretty aggressive beach hold on Dome. They kind of were one of the first teams to start going for the mollies on Lander, and they love to take those early defensive swings. They're definitely not a team that is interested in playing very passive. Both teams are very smart. Both teams are very coordinated. They're full of good aimers. Every single person on both of these teams is a strong and intelligent player. I think we're in for a great game of due process today.
Yeah, and that brings us to this Operation Singular Tower. We are on a kill house map with this internal breezeway. Finally, a breezeway that not everybody has to hate.
Yeah, it's definitely gotten some mixed love in the past, but this is an interesting map. A lot of map control needs to be taken here, unless you're trying to go for something like kitchen, which then leaves you in a little bit of a choke point. The club push is pretty good, but there's some long angles for the defenders to hold from. The hall push is a bit of a choke point for the attackers as well. Overall, I actually really like this map. It looks like it has a bunch of opportunities for the defense to avoid flashbangs, play long angles and crossfires, and the attackers are going to have to be really smart about how they want to take this. From the looks of things, it looks like they're positioning towards a club hit through the red door. They already have the smoke through the wall to try and block off those angles from bar. So from the looks of things, I think the attacker is going to try and go just quick through backstage, try and get into office, and it's really up to the defense to slow them down, try and hold off that backstage to office door, while the rest of the team can maybe rotate around and get some flanks in.
Yeah, and we see Global Breakout now moving out from the truck. Looks like they're going to be pushing through this reception red door uh, 2-3 split here. Um, some good rotations will allow them to be able to kind of reinforce each other on this side, so I do like this. And it does look like Nemesis is waiting on that long hallway, so we'll see if we get some early engagement here.
Lots of wall bangs coming out.
Yeah, the firefight is pretty heavy, and we see our first drop. Billboard goes down immediately off of that the south reception push. I will say I'm having a little bit of a trouble here because I was trying to get into the game and I keep spectating and it goes to the wrong game. So
No worries, I can hop in here. It looks like the
appreciate.
attackers are positioning towards backstage, trying to get into office. Oh, huge wallbang from Brandwan there, taking out Ikazo. Cullen trying to return, but Brandwan is already gone. It looks like the defense is still a little worried about the hall push. Chi watching the flank while Argo and Cullen trying to make their way into office. This is it. This is the push. Brandwan going for even more wallbangs, and again he retreats away before the attack can respond. Molotov going out. It doesn't fully cover the door. Roadrunner looking for a kill here. Will he get it? Argo trying to get the early opening onto him. He gets the first, gets traded by death. And it looks
Not
like
looking
that
good.
is the end for the attack there. Colin just trying to hold on to this, but he's most likely going to try and go for the save as Nemesis have successfully rebuffed Global Breakout on this kill house. They played that really, really well. They didn't give up more peaks than they had to, played the choke point perfectly, made a very effective use of wallbangs. Overall, really great opening from Nemesis.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of screen real estate, and I'm watching basically what everybody else is watching right now. But like, it looked like they had the initial pick from Nemesis on the long green off of the reception push, and then they cleared the rest of the map. But the defenders had taken some really good, like just spread out positions, which covered all of the bases for the bomb room as they had coalesced in that section, and it made it so that global breakout was forced to funnel in to a really small choke, and some good molly and barbed wire play. It did not afford them much.
Yeah, and a little interesting on the global breakout push there. They started really slow. They tried to get a lot of shots into backstage and were quite worried about that. Ended up spending a bunch of flashes, both club and backstage, and Nemesis weren't even there. And so by the time that global breakout got to the bomb, their util was pretty low. Nemesis hadn't really spent very many Molotovs or anything else. And so they kind of just had the util advantage there and played time very effectively. Global Breakout maybe need to change their pacing here if they want to break into those sites quickly. Okay, and it looks like we're going on to C store now. A little bit of a pause coming out, so we might have some extra time to break down this map. This is a pretty interesting C store. It's definitely challenging for the defenders. The attackers have pretty much immediate access to bomb the moment they blow through storefront. So that is a pretty popular play on this map. On top of that, freezers is difficult to hold if you're a defender. There's a fantastic angle from storefront that basically can look through all of freezers. So it's a little bit hard to position there unless you have some type of long range gun, which you probably don't want to be taking on C store. So it's a little challenging if you're a defender. You definitely want to play tellers, maybe get some support in bathroom, definitely want some people up in storage and arcade. But ultimately, the attackers have easy access to bomb. It's pretty easy to clear out fridges and freezers, and from there, there's not a whole lot for the defenders to do. So they either have to go hyper aggressive here and try and hold global breakout right at the front, or they're going to be stuck sort of falling back with little map control, might end up a little stacked up on each other, and things might get a little tense. So it's definitely going to be challenging. We just saw how well Nemesis played the previous map. I'm really interested to see what they go for here. It seems like they're also trying to block off the office push. It looks like they're definitely worried about those freezers, trying to get a barbed wire in place so that the push is a little bit slower. At the same time, it looks like Global Breakout are talking about the storefront push here, kind of evaluating some of their options. We're seeing Colin draw those long angles through freezer. They're definitely going to have a saber or a black tar maybe posted up on that so that the defenders are denied that map control.
Yeah, it's looking like they're going to go with a three barb defense here. Luckily, my game has finally decided to cooperate, so we'll be in good shape for this one. But it does look like it's Global Breakout's going to go with this storefront breach. It does afford them, like you said, immediate position onto bomb. The difficulty here for defenders, especially, is this is a very small map. So a handful of flashbangs will definitely get you a lot out of this push.
Yeah. You get one flash freezers, you get one flash fridges. That's basically everybody who could possibly stop you pushing through storefront. Maybe you're a little bit worried about bathroom, but that's not the greatest peak if you're a defender. And if you're in Teller, you're safe for a little bit, but then the guy with the DL gets up there, and all of a sudden you're stuck in a tiny room with nowhere to go. So it's definitely a little challenging, and we see some teams like to play a little bit more of an anti-flash type of approach to maps like these, where they try and stay off of site, wait for the flashes to come in, and then peek back out. But we know that these teams are very aggressive. We know that Nemesis is very aggressive. We're seeing some long range guns on their players too. We have a Legros on Road. We have an AK on Death. We have the Gruber on Smith. So they can play some longer range weapons here. Maybe set up in Freezer or in Arcade to try and pinch them off as the attackers come in. And then obviously Mace with the auto shotty. Maybe we'll see that around fridges, just trying to rat and get a couple kills when the attackers aren't looking the right way.
See, I think he's going to be chilling out in bathroom on this backside to swing
Yeah, no, that's definitely
because
a
they
good
can
spot
kind of
too.
see that.
Yeah, he's over in office right now.
Because he's going to be playing that close range, just making sure that there's no weird hinky solo man rotates around
Yeah,
behind the team.
yeah, that's a great point. I am a little worried though. If they don't come through office, Mace might end up caught out if he's trying to come out of bathroom into storefront. So we'll see how that goes for him.
No storefront hinky storefront play where you leave it open or anything, so the storefront's staying down. All right, we have the breach going out. Colin looking for the initial. Shots going into the freezer, but not much there. Brandwan, oh, the barbed wire does get clear, but he was in a safe position. Did not take any damage. But Roadrunner did get picked off in the freezer off that initial shot. I did not actually see that when they were firing in. Mace just waiting in the smoke. You see that Global Breakout is now kind of pushed in. Mace swings too early. Somebody needed to help him out there. That was a little bit bad. Brand tries to make a swing as well, but they're starting to get penned in right now. Death trying to push in after getting flashed. Does get one on Billboard. Smith takes Argo. Meanwhile, Death wraps around to the backside of Colin. Does get picked up. It's down to a 2-2. Oh, except for as Ikazo takes out two with the straight angle with the sniper. Oh my goodness. It was perfect. Man, that was actually starting to go a little bit wrong for Global Breakout when Colin decided to push in on Arcade, and then Billboard ends up getting taken out right off of the side. So,
Yeah, I
good
believed
job
for
for
a moment there.
Ikazo and Sachi for holding that angle down on the bomb.
Yeah, Ikazo played that really well, comes in, gets the opening pick on Roadrunner, so that immediately opens up Freezer for his team. Next thing he's worried about, starts checking off bathroom, holding that angle down. Was not quite ready for Mace being there, but Billboard picked him up. Then Ikazo locks down Billboard so that she can get to the bomb. Colin and Argo's push doesn't really work out. Billboard goes down too, so Ikazo turns around, focuses on Arcade, and takes out all the attackers from that angle. So really just doing a great job of supporting his team there. Chi just going straight to bomb, hitting the defuse, not even worried about the defenders, just full trust in his teammates. So that was really well played by the attack.
Yeah, really good. I saw them shooting it on fridges. I did not even see that there was so much fire and stuff. I was just it must have blazed over because I was actually watching Mace. Because I wanted to see if he was going to when was he going to try to make the swing. I feel like he did it a little bit early.
Yeah, that
Um,
was definitely a little too early, particularly with the type of angle that he was peaking. He was going for like a long range shot on all the people in storefront. Uh, you know, that's never going to work out all that well when you have an auto shotty.
Yeah, I just think the round needed to have developed a little bit more before he made that swing.
Yeah. Like, if he
You
had
know,
waited for his team to get those kills in arcade and then
yeah.
come around from the flank while his teammates were in arcade putting pressure on Chi and Ikazo, that probably could have won them the round. But obviously,
Mhm.
in analyzing the individual mistake doesn't necessarily change the
No,
course of a
no,
single
absolutely
round.
not. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's just like the way at which they ended up engaging that with Brand One and Mace.
Certainly.
I think if it would have
Yeah.
been reversed, I think they could have gotten more out of it. But yeah,
Yeah,
this
absolutely.
brings us to Operation Praetorian Rushing. We're here on Dome now. This is a really complex looking map, actually.
Yeah, this is a fun one. There are a lot of options for the attackers. It's definitely not one of those meta maps where there's obviously one thing to do. The castle push is pretty good. You obviously have to fight all the way down castle, but once you do, that pretty much secures you full control of the south side of the map because you can split from green and push through the remaining parts of jungle. So that's a pretty valuable push, and it looks like Global Breakout are positioned for that. Nemesis are also quite worried about the jungle charge, and that's also pretty effective. It's maybe a little bit less map control, but it's closer to bomb, so you could theoretically just rush through. And it looks like Nemesis are working hard to counter that quick play. So I think this is going to be interesting. I think Nemesis are maybe a little bit overcommitting to the jungle to ruins push. Maybe aren't quite ready for the castle push. It looks like it's going to fall on Roadrunner to repel the attackers first thing. So I'm interested to see how this plays out.
Yes, we see this uh, global breakout going into another 3-2 split with Argo and Billboard coming in on the screen. Meanwhile, Sachi, Colin, and Akazo are all starting to stack up on this castle red. I think they're going to hope that Death can get the pick on this castle push on the initial. As the breach goes out, they're waiting for some mollies, but nothing's really going. Argo, Billboard are kind of Billboard looking for somebody off of the side as they start pushing in towards Castle. They say that's clear. Oh, this is going to be bad news though.
Oh,
Mace and Roadrunner are going to be completely flanked, and while Mace did get Argo, that's two. We're in a 2v4 or 2v4 situation right now. As Kaza does get the pick on Death. I think he got him from a really jinxy position there. But Brandwan does take down Billboard as he pushes in towards jungle a little bit too close. But now Sashi is starting to put on a little pressure. Colin is trying to give him a little bit of backup here. All right, Akazo now swinging back to give them some support. He's worried about a flank. We still got plenty of time. Molly goes out. Power is out as well, so that means that Smit and Brandwan are just hiding in the dark right now. This is interesting. Kazo now going back the other direction with Colin as well. Brandwan might get himself. Oh, Kazo's not watching with the saber though. Oh, Colin gets the nice pick here. It is down to Smit versus 3. He does get the swing. Okay, Kazo picks him up afterwards. Yeah,
where are
I
you
was gonna
looking?
say. Yeah, every time Akazu had that really good pick on Death, and then it always felt like he was just a little bit out of sync. So hopefully
Yeah.
that gets cleaned up later. That was so funny. That was just like Colin got killed now. Well, that brings us 2-1 with global breakout now. Really, just I. It felt like Roadrunner and Mace were just left out to dry on that defense because nobody could really reinforce you from castle, right? As far as you can go for defense is pit. So like you're hanging pretty far out. And once they came, the global breakout came in through castle, they had the flank on you. You had to kind of fall back to ruins at that point.
Yeah, it's one of those tough situations where when you go into defense, you say, "Oh, I'll defend castle, I'll defend jungle," and then the attackers push in such a way that you're left in a bad position, but you don't necessarily want to give up that map control, so you end up kind of stuck in between. And we saw that happen to both of them. They were stuck between Green Door and Castle, but they didn't really want to rotate all the way back and give up map control. But they kind of just ended up dying anyway because they were totally isolated from the rest of their team and they were getting pushed on both sides. Another thing that was interesting about that round was we saw Global Breakout actually try and go around towards Ruins to push into observation. then realized how bad it was over there, how much barbed wire Nemesis had spent to try and secure that side of the map, and so they had to run all the way back around. So it was very much like an on-the-fly call that they made that ended up working out in their favor. Looks like we're going on to Kill House now, and it's Global Breakout's turn to play this map. They saw how Nemesis countered them the first time, and it seems like Nemesis might be thinking about a similar strategy to what Global Breakout employed. So it'll be interesting to see how the two teams approach this map differently. It looks like we have a pretty spread out use of barbed wire here by Global Breakout. It looks like they're committing 4 to the round, which is more. You usually typically see teams only commit 3. And it looks like they're definitely worried about this club push. They have 2 barbed wires dedicated for it. I wonder if we'll see anybody in club. If you'll remember, we saw that nobody on Nemesis actually played clubber backstage. They were all committed to office, hallway, and kitchen. So it looks like Argo is going to be in club. Cheese might be there to support him, might not. But overall, I'm interested to see how these two teams differ in their approach.
Yeah, if Sachi and possibly even Colin can give support to Argo, he can actually try to hold from that bar side onto reception,
Oh,
right? So
Ikazo, the aggressive pick.
yeah, he's waiting, he's looking.
I
They're
think he's
heading.
looking the wrong
They're
way.
gonna get him. I think.
Oh
I
no,
think.
Ikazo,
I
run
think.
away!
Okay, he hears him. He hears him. He's out. Yeah. He realizes that they're not gonna go the opposite way, so he knows he has to fall back now. So it looks like they're going with an only all green now. So it is pushing into reception and hall now,
Great
and
smoke.
trying to. Yeah, that was lovely smoke. Oh, they are getting pushed on so hard right now. Yeah, it is long hallway. Trade's going off from that breezeway too. The molly goes out, but Billboard goes down. It is now a 4v5. Is Argo gonna try to make a rotate here? I'm surprised they're all just running back in. Frag goes up, but doesn't find purchase on anything.
They're out of
Meanwhile,
mollies.
they are out of mollies, so now it's gonna be a whole lot of flashes. Mace goes down on the initial push in. Colin tries to get another one. Argo finally with the flank. Oh, Ikazo, close range with that sniper. Sachi with the backup. It's all down to Roadrunner now. But he does pick up one. This is really down to Akazo and Roadrunner, but Akazo's got to find his shot. Oh, he finally gets the pick. Wow. Wow, I thought it was over with a handful of flashes on Nemesis. They were just going to be immediately clear the room, but really good flow and movement from Global Breakout to really minimize that defense. They use their mollies really, really well for to delay. A lot of good chip damage too came in as Nemesis rotated down that long hallway. Argo and I believe it was Sachi both got in a firefight. I believe it was with Mace and did a decent amount of damage as they were transferring past that breezeway.
Yeah, and really good take by Nemesis there. It was a full eco, and they still got to bomb almost immediately,
Mm-hmm.
pushing a section of the map that I think Global Breakout weren't quite ready for. I think GB were a little worried about Club, a little worried about Kitchen, and Hallway wasn't really at the top of their minds. They did have Ikazo there, but he couldn't really do much to stop them once Nemesis got the ball rolling. That said, once Nemesis got to the bomb room itself, it seems like they didn't get a single flash deep into the back of sight. They flashed close, but Ikazo, and I think that was Chi in the back as well, were pretty much completely unflashed and were able to play a crossfire with their teammate who's were closer.
Yeah.
Overall, really well played by the defense. Definitely making use of hit and run tactics on the room. Definitely weren't peeking too long, giving too much to the attackers. They sort of went for quick damage and then ran away as quickly as possible. That's absolutely how you should be playing that. Akazo also picking up 2, I believe,
Yeah.
particularly on one on death, right as he was about to start making entries into the room. So really great hold by them. We're going into C Store now. Global Breakout is on defense this time. And as we discussed the first time we saw this map, this is definitely a challenging defender map. It seems like Nemesis are going to go for the classic storefront push. They have a nade already ready for the barb that Global Breakout are planning to put down. And obviously, we should probably see some freezers presence as well. Typically, a Saber player will go for an opening there. So I wonder if Global Breakout, knowing how strong the peek into freezers is, will play a little bit more passive in there, not try and give the Saber any angles. But either way, it's going to be quite challenging to stop the attackers from getting on top of bomb. really your only hope is maybe a couple kills in Freezer Arcade. Maybe something goes weird and you have a fight in Bathroom or around Tellers as well. But a lot
Mhm.
depends on how many kills you can get sort of in the early parts of this round. Can you repel them at freezers or fridges? Can you get some early damage down? Otherwise, the attackers have a lot of bomb control really fast.
Yeah, we'll see how fast. And you see Akaza now starting to just lay out some damage, but falls back a little bit. He's just making sure that he's going to be an annoyance more than anything else. As Brandon finally comes in, the frag goes up and does not clear the barb. It was too deep. Sachi with the early molly. They could start getting hemmed out in here. Argo also throws another molly. I don't know if they're going to go for lights out here. Roadrunner takes a tick of damage there, but does get the pick on Argo. Meanwhile, Akaza does go down in a hail of gunfire. We're down to a 3v5 right now. It is looking pretty clean. Sachi trying to get the peak. No, does not get his
Oh,
1v1,
Billboard
but
on the
Billboard
flank.
does not have enough as Mace and Death kind of turn to him. It is down to Colin, and he doesn't have a gun for this.
Yeah, he loves his
Colin
AKs too much. He's gonna
just
save.
trying to save. He's gonna have 5 man looking for him, so in about 3 seconds. And now the attackers go, oh, they're not gonna try to look for a challenge. Okay, so they're just gonna let Colin get away with it, I think. Oh, Mace might be on the hunt here. Oh, he gets him.
Yeah, Mace
Ooh.
wasn't about to let that happen. Colin with an
Yeah.
AK? No, thank you.
Yep. So I really like the immediate defense, but it felt like things got given up too quickly. That they have Starfront, we need to get out of here, and
Yeah.
there wasn't enough challenge because the barbed wire never got cleared. Molly's went up, stuff that there was nobody there. It's hard to know that from while you're in the game, but I would say that it just felt like they're like, oh no, the attackers are all in. The attackers' plan is coming to fruition, and it did feel like things were kind of in Global Breakout's favor there, in terms of like what the scenario that kind of was unfolding.
Yeah,
But
and funny
really
enough,
good
we
play from
saw
Max.
Ikazo make the exact same peak that Mace made incorrectly, pushing out of Bathroom a little too early and ending up just with no support against 5 people across all of Storefront. So yeah, I agree. GB were handed a couple of advantageous positions there. They had the barbed wire that didn't go away on fridges, but ultimately were not able to convert. And it's a tough map, so
Oh, for sure, for
I
sure.
don't hold
Again,
that
that map is
against
so
them.
tiny. Yeah, that
Yeah.
map is so tiny. It is a very difficult defender map. So it does bring us to 3-2 here. Um, global to defend. Global Breakout is still on defense, and they're still in one game round up. So yeah, I'm excited to see what is the plan here. It looks like they want to do something very much similar. Um,
Yeah, it
blow
looks
in
like
through
Nemesis are.
castle
Yeah, it looks like
and
they're
take
targeting
control.
that castle push. Two interesting smokes as well on observation. I'll be curious to see how that goes down. And then maybe some presence on green door as well for the split. I wonder if Global Breakout are going to hold Castle as hard as Nemesis were planning on. As we saw, it did not go very well for them because they just got split through the green door. We have Argo and our very interesting rat spot as well by that ruin store with Chi to support him. And it looks like Ikazo might be going for some type of aggressive pick here on the Castle players.
Yeah,
Oh,
this is going to be an interesting map for them to try to fight here. I do like that Colin did open up the door there so that he has a little bit more movement. So, we actually see them coming in. They use the door charge on the ruins to put pressure on that avenue. And they're going to swing around and use it. No, they already have it placed. All right, so yes, here we go. They're starting to push in through into the castle. Akazo tries to get the initial pick, but does not do any damage. But Colin with that flank. Ooh, Mace with that SD. Now trying to lay down some of that fire. Man, Colin is playing pretty heavy. Oh, Argo, you peek the door. Just let him come in. You have Sachi there for you. All right, so Brando and Smith now are kind of like pretty clear coming in on this. Billboard trying to make some trades with Death.
a lot of attackers on low HP as well. Really just
Colin
Mace and
ratting
Brandwan with
super
full
hard.
HP.
Colin's still ratting really, really smart here. Patience. Pure patience. As you see them all stacking out on castle, Colin's still waiting patiently. God, this could be so devastating. Akazo trying to take another shot here, but does not hit. Well, actually, I think he did there. Did get that hit on Mace. So both Mace and Smith are just about dead. And we see Akazo finally take out Death. Man, it is down to basically Brandwan. Never mind. Mace is now down as well. It is now down to Brandwan and Smith coming on the backside of observation as they push in on Billboard. He goes down. Sachi does pick up the one and the second. Dude, the pick damage there. Akazo just putting in work with that sniper rifle. Goodness.
Yeah, that was just a fantastic hold. Colin playing that very well, getting the early damage. He got the first pick on Roadrunner, opened the round up for his team, then immediately ran away, did not overplay his position, and he just hid. He did nothing for the rest of the round, and that was exactly what he needed to do. He did not give up a kill. He did not give up any map control. Nemesis were always worried about where he was. If you saw, a bunch of them were peeking castle, trying to figure out where he ran to. Got a little muddy trying to figure out where he went, and Colin just sat there and let Nemesis worry about him without, giving up his life to do so. So really well played. I think that's absolutely the way to do it. If you're in a bad spot, get the kill, fall off. That's just really smart due process right there. We're now going into factory. This is the first time we're seeing this map, and this is an interesting one. There's definitely a lot of options here as attackers. As you can see, the defense is talking right now about the quick push through dock onto server farm. Obviously, that is a quick push, but it does leave you a little exposed. There are a lot of angles in server farms where you can be countered by the defense. Alternatively, there's office where you can push down out of office onto the factory floor and then into server farm. That is a little bit better of a push. You have a little bit more space to work with. But it can leave you a little exposed. You obviously have those office windows, and a bunch of people can play around conveyors and in the back of server farm to try and counter you. And the final option is the green door, which is also a pretty good push. It lets you get onto the site or get onto the map really quickly. You can run down conveyors, you could run around past office and get into server farm. There's a bunch of options there as well. It looks like Neo are particularly sorry, excuse me, Global Breakout are particularly worried about the Office and Green Door play, but Nemesis ultimately are going to opt for this quick dock push. They're a team that loves the shortest path to bomb. They really just try and identify what the quickest route is, use their flashbangs effectively, and do not stop. And it's quite effective.
And this is going to be really hard if Nemesis is able to take control of server farm, it is very difficult for defenders to even have an angle. Right? There's only 3 entries on that room, and the largest one is on that east side of the map, right? So that's the open double door. But if you're funneling in through a tiny little door versus 5 attackers that have already taken bomb site, you're going to be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I think a lot of it depends on how the rest of the defense rotates after the door is blown up. Are they going to try and get onto site quickly to hold it strong? Are they going to stay off the site and get pushed out? There's definitely a lot of options here. I think this is also going to fall on Ikazo right now to get this opening pick.
Yeah, and Billboard had to bail out now, but there is barbed wire up on that walkway, on that catwalk. Ikazo takes a shot, does hit Death, but just nicked him. As they start pushing in, Colin is already down, and Ikazo is going to get taken out right after Roadrunner with the double as he pushed in on that. And now it is the attackers. It is down to 3 defenders. Billboard is just trying to hold on inside of her server farm. But you can see the attackers now trying to clear out the rest of the room. Mace clears out the barbed wire on the main door in server farm. Sachi is waiting there with the molly. Goes out. Billboard trying to get the long cross. Mace was able to bail out of that, though, with little to no damage. We see Billboard and Masachi trying to hold on to this. Another good molly, though. Does waste a flash utility. Attackers still have 2 flashes left currently on their list of gear as they start getting ready to stack the server farm. Second flash goes in. Billboard trying to hold off. Sachi gets one with a good cross. Argo picks up the other as Mace dropped in. Smith does push Billboard and drop him, and Argo goes down quickly after. But it's down to a 1v1 here. Smith v Sachi. Yeah, he knows he has to come in through this double door, and Smith is watching it like a hawk. Smith is good at these bomb holds and drops him right there.
Perfectly played by Smith. A little bit of hesitation there. He ran a little far away, ended up underneath Toxic, when there was really only one way for him to get onto site.
Yeah.
And Smith played that perfectly. He started the bomb defuse, stuck on it so that Chi was really worried, and then just peeked at the perfectly right time to catch Chi as he was trying to rotate into sight. So overall, really well played by Nemesis there. Roadrunner getting two huge entry kills for his team really opened the round up after that. There was not a whole lot they could do once they lost both their sniper and the support player for conveyors. So really great way to open that round up. And I really like that Nemesis saw the barbed wire on server farm, saw that there were people conveyors, and said, "Oh well, let's just go push them instead." Made
Yep.
great use of flashbangs and just ultimately ran over the defender team on the whole south side of the map.
Yeah, that was a really tough go for Colin and Ikazo because they they only had one little spot that you can really hide off of the conveyors, right? So they were immediately pushed and both got dropped. Yeah, I was really impressed with how Billboard, Chi, and Argo played that cross though as the attackers came in with the really fast peaks, where it was very alternating. One would peak and then drop back, and then the next one would peak and drop back, and just had a really good crossfire in there. And I think that's why you saw, uh, Nemesis get cut down pretty quickly there between the defenders rotating their fire.
Yeah, and that's just classic Nemesis. They push, they don't stop, they have full confidence. That's really how you have to play due process in general, is you just need to trust your team to watch your back. And as we saw from Roadrunner there, he had no problem sprinting across all of conveyors to get those two people because he trusted the people behind him to follow him and watch the long angles for him as he would for the quick push.
Yeah.
So really well played and a good example of how coordination on attack and trust in your teammates is really probably the most valuable thing you can have as a team. Moving on to Kill House now. Again, the first time we're seeing this map, and this is a pretty good one. We have that courtyard that opens up from reception. It seems like Nemesis are very interested in taking control of that. On top of that, you have the brick house push that gives you quick access to lockers, which it's in my personal opinion, it's not the best of pushes. I think kitchen is a lot more valuable in terms of what it can provide you. But overall, this map definitely depends on good use of courtyard windows. Either if you are defenders, are you going to successfully repel the attackers trying to get in through reception? Or if you're the attackers, are you going to leverage every possible angle you can get out of courtyard and use that to your advantage? As we can see here, the defense is definitely playing a more passive approach, kind of trying to fall back onto club if they have to, not really interested in taking super aggressive fights. Colin may be trying to hold on to kitchen for them here.
Yeah, they're looking for some early picks, but a good smoke goes out to block Billboard's fire from that long angle as they do start pushing in on this green. Oh, the double swing from Argo and Colin was really, really strong, but gets Mace picks him off from the window. It's already looking pretty dire here for Global Breakout. As long as they're smart and hold these really good angles, though, I think they'll be okay. Mace just watching that window. We did see Sachi take down Roadrunner in that kitchen really quick as Billboard picks up Mace in the courtyard. That's a tough loss here. It is literally down to a 1v3, and just like that, you find... You see that Brandwan now trying to pick up the Saber and get out. We did see that last round that Global Breakout had lost the mop as well, so this is actually pretty good that Brandwan is gonna save here. Really good defense. Nice
Yeah,
setup.
that was excellently played by Global Breakout, making very efficient use of the windows on Courtyard to try and deny. Mace got in there and got a kill for his trouble, but ultimately, I felt like Nemesis did not take sufficient advantage of the windows. It really ended up being a little bit more of a weakness. There were a lot of angles Mace could be peeked from, and when he was by himself, he just couldn't watch everything. Ended up getting killed by Sachi, but he just as easily could have been killed by Ikazo, who was looking at him, not even a second later. So it's definitely a tough map if you're an attacker. I think Neo played really well by just taking some early fights and winning them, going for a lot of wall bangs and getting that early damage, particularly that first kill onto Smith that Ikazo and Argo double swinged on. That was perfect.
Yeah, and I also wanted to note that barb place, and I kind of circled it right there, was that it it forced the attackers to have to play west side of the door, which meant all you had to do is aim for that one edge. You never had to worry that they were going to run to the other side because otherwise they were going to get stuck in the barbed wire. So that was a really interesting placement. It not only covered the door, but it covered the fact that you couldn't run to the opposite side. You were forced to only fight on one edge. And I think that's what was actually kind of MVP'd out of that barbed wire.
Oh, that's genius. I didn't even notice that. That's some
Yeah,
high IQ stuff right there.
yeah, I was kind of noticing that during the play is like all the attackers got funneled into like literally one death spot. If you notice, a lot of the bodies were just laid on top of each
Yeah,
other
yeah.
because they were trying to play off of that door because they couldn't play off of the barbed wire part. So they were kind of ushered just ever so slightly. I think that was a really, really smart placement.
Moving into C-store now. This is definitely a little bit larger of a C-store. The defenders have a little bit more to work with. Particularly the Freezer Deli Crossfire is quite powerful here. So Nemesis are going to be pretty worried about that, particularly since it opens up from tellers as well. You can very quickly get peeked from, 3, 4 angles if you're trying to push straight through storefront. We know how much Nemesis love to go for the storefront wall charge. I would be surprised if they didn't bring it out here again from the way things are looking. But it can get a little dicey if Global Breakout are aware enough of this push, which they absolutely should be, then they're going to be peeking from multiple angles at the same time, waiting until attackers get into the middle of that storefront to strike. And it could be pretty dangerous for Nemesis if they don't have all their angles covered. It seems like the attackers are also taking a look at the bathroom push, which is pretty effective, particularly if the defenders are not looking for it. That said, it can be a little bit of a funnel as well. So it really depends. If you're able to hit bathroom quickly enough, get into tellers, get into fridges, that it can be quite effective. But from the looks of things, I think Global Breakout are aware of it. It looks like they might even be trying to put a barbed wire on shed somehow. I don't even know how they'd go about doing that.
Well,
Uh,
you kick the red, right?
yeah, it
You
seems a
throw
little
a
bit
barb
wasteful
out,
to
and
me.
then well, you're looking for picks here on the green though. Is
Yeah, I
basically what you'd
guess
be
this
trying to
is
do, but
kick barb V2.
I think what they're saying is that Kazo just watch that back green, and then you can shoot them if they try to come in.
Yeah.
Right there,
Oh, and he
because
got some
he,
damage too.
yeah, yeah, good damage on Roadrunner. He's pretty hurt. It's going to be a very difficult push, and the barb goes out to block the bathroom as well. Kazo playing that so smart does
Ooh.
even more damage, but Roadrunner gets the swing as Billboard does get the reprisal. Ooh. Ooh. Man, Death trying to take those shots doesn't hit anything, but that was a little bit scary. Is not they do now have bomb control. Billboard tries to take a swing on Mace, but he gets dropped immediately. Argo auto shotgun Smit getting him from behind, but they are on bomb now. Sachi tried to throw a molly, but it didn't quite work out for him. Or they either threw a molly, tried to back him off. Sachi trying to get some shots down. Argo just waiting patiently. Oh, swings, but he missed him! Oh no! He ran the wrong way! Okay, Sachi. Oh, Colin gets picked as well. This is looking really good for Nemesis. Sachi, last man standing, trying to find a way into this. Gets Mace. Okay, that's a little bit more of a dire situation. Death. Oh, it's so close to being taken, though. Yeah, that'll be the round.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. Honestly, I think that round was a lot closer than it looks. If we see Death and Brandwan have next to no HP, really one or two more bullets in any one of those gunfights, and this round could have gone very differently. That said, I do feel like Global Breakout were not quite as prepared for the storefront push as they should have been. I think the charge went off in bathroom, and that moved a lot of their attention. They started focusing that, but interestingly enough, we've seen a lot of double charges coming out from Nemesis today. On more than one round, they've decided to spend 2 explosives on one round, and it's paid off for them pretty much every time. So in this particular instance, I think Global Breakout got a little confused or distracted by the first charge, and then we're not quite ready for the push through storefront. It seems like Nemesis didn't really have as many angles to worry about as they should have. Deli was open, Fridges wasn't really held by someone with a long range weapon, and that really just left freezers to fight all of storefront, and that just did not go very well for them.
Mm-hmm. This does bring Global Breakout onto the attacking side, so we'll see how they tackle Leopard Pistol. This factory map we did see earlier that there was a heavy dock push that worked out really, really well for Nemesis, but like it's looking like Global Breakout is just going to go with a full green and take control of conveyors as they try to make that push in. It feels kind of tough to me because it's going to make pushing office a lot more difficult. Um, you've got windows, you've got overhang, you've got stairs as you try to push in on this, which makes it a lot more of a difficult funnel to try to push in through that green door. It does look like they are going to smoke it off, and they just want to. Oh nope! It does look like they're going to do probably a split here. It does look they want to take dock. It does look like they want to do green and push both those sides. So they're going to try to do a pincer and try to just clear conveyors, get control of half the map, push into server farm. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Zguk, joined here by my fellow co-caster Index in
Hello.
the in the Nemesis Global Breakout DPL Fall Major Finals. Holy heck, we had some technical difficulties, but let's just recap what happened. Global Breakout ended that game in a 7-4. That last Kill House map, we saw Akazo basically run the table like he did in the previous map and get two initial picks. Mace tried to swing him with the auto shotgun and was cleaned up immediately. And from there, that put Nemesis at such a disadvantage that they just ran through that map. So not only did we get to see one of the best defenses on that map, we got to see what Global Breakout do one of the best attacks on that map with only losing one member and closing out the game. So wow, it was pretty awesome to watch that final round, and I feel bad that everybody missed it. So at least hopefully I can feel you a little bit on that. But it was yeah, really really good play. The last two rounds of the game, the last two maps were just absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, really well played by Global Breakout. They're just a very smart team. They have fantastic coordination, and when Ikazu starts hitting his shots, things get extremely dangerous. That now puts Global Breakout at 2-0 to Nemesis. For those of you wondering, they're already up one match because they came from the winners bracket, and they won this most recent match, so they are now up 2-0. They just need one more to get a flawless victory against Nemesis in the finals. This would be the first time this has ever happened, particularly in such a resounding fashion such as this. Nemesis really need to wake up, start playing some more aggressive due process, get their scores on the board, and start bringing this back against Global Breakout because right now it is looking very one-sided.
Yes, will the gods bleed is the question here. Moving into this next set of games, but we find ourselves here on Saturn Hermit, a C-store map. Also, really upfront bomb on that storefront, and we all know what Nemesis likes to do: breach storefront. So it looks like it's going to be a heavy push in. There's also pretty brutally a red door sitting right on that one side, which allows you to clear corners on freezer pretty easily without ever opening it. So, but it looks like we might be going with a strange audible here. They're gonna do a door charge. Oh, is it gonna be a double breach? I'm unsure exactly of what the plan is here, but
It seems like a bit of an overcommitment. That said, I understand wanting to get a strong start at the beginning of a new match. Just spend the charges early. Start off on the right foot. You can also open up that shed green door with a shotgun, and while you can't get any map control out of it, it does allow you to look into arcade and deny them that map control from the defenders. So that's always a really strong spot to put one player. Just make sure that the defenders are caught off guard, and deny them a pretty key part of the map. So overall, this is a tough map to defend if the attackers are playing it well. There's a lot that the attackers can do to just deny map control from the defense, and you either have to play aggressive or too passive in order to avoid it. So it'll be interesting to see how Global Breakout decide to approach this map. It looks like they're set up for some pretty aggressive positioning with the strong freezers and storefront hold. We'll see if it works out for them.
Runner and Mace getting ready up in that office, and you always have this looming possibility that somebody's going to be coming in through this office. Colin trying to get some shots up on there, but everybody waiting patiently. Smith drops the bomb on the explosive on the door, getting ready to open up and freezer. Argo is kind of is getting pulled, but yeah, he's not falling for it. All right, explosive goes off. Bad molly from Argo, buddy. No, as Brandwan and Death start pushing in on freezer. Picasso really laying down the fire, just trying to get him held down as Billboard picks up one on Mace, but doesn't get the second. Roadrunner gets the cleanup. Colin now rotating. The defenders are now starting to get hemmed in on this really small area. It's really kind of worrisome to me. Colin needs to make a better rotate. Did lights just go out? I think they put lights out. As Roadrunner and Smith push in, they're just getting the flank from behind them now. And now they have teller control. It is looking really dire here. Argo, flash goes out. Gets the swing on Brandwan. Colin, though, getting double swung here, and it is all down to Argo. Getting stuck in the corner, and that is it. Clean up from Smith and Roadrunner. It was really tough. I think there might have needed to have been more defense put on that teller. Teller
Yeah,
seems
it
like
seemed
once
like
Teller control got lost, it was over.
yeah, they were so worried about the freezers push. Roadrunner came in, got 3 kills, Bathroom, 2 in Teller, and that was it. There was really not much for Global Breakout to do after that. It was kind of they were stuck in a bad position, right? Bathroom's really close, Teller's really close, and that's where the DL shines. And Nemesis made great advantage of that. Really great kills by Roadrunner, opening things up, and smart of them to sort of pull the attention of the defense towards Freezer, not actually commit very hard to it, and then just send the DL through Bathroom and Tellers and mop up all the defenders who are looking the wrong way.
Yeah, get the train running. I mean, it was, and hey, no storefront breach. Color
Yeah,
me surprised.
it's very uncharacteristic of Nemesis, but they made it work in their favor.
But yeah, really close on the edge there. Again, everybody was super hurt. You know, Roadrunner was on his last legs. I think Smith was at half. So I mean, it could still have swung the other way.
Going into Voracious Fang now. This is a really interesting map. The Toxic Hold is particularly difficult for the attackers to push through. You can get some great angles up on the Toxic Silos area and completely deny access from that green door from Server Farm. You can also peek from there, along with some players peeking from the right side of the map onto Server Farm, so you can get a pretty good green hold here. Alternatively, the Office push is pretty good for attackers. It looks like Global Breakout have a strong barbed wire put down for that, and will probably have some players in Office ready to counter. It looks like Nemesis are interested in going for power, then using Office to clear out silos before they push onto Bomb. I think we're going to see a pretty aggressive green hold attempt from Global Breakout. That is typically what they like to do on factories, especially. So it'll be interesting. Will they be ready for the push on the other side of the map? I'm not sure that they are going to have as many people dedicated to that as they might need, but it depends on how well they effectively use their mollies and how the people playing in that room are able to slow down the attack to allow for their teammates to rotate.
Yeah, this is a long split. The distance between office and server farm is it's gonna be Nemesis saying we can take a better fight than you. Um, so it'll
Yeah.
be interesting to see how Nemesis approaches this quandary. Akaza does bring out Mop, so he's gonna be chilling out probably up off of the silo walkway.
Yeah,
Colin just
and I
waiting with
think a lot
Argo
of this
too.
is going to fall on Ikazo's shoulders. Will he be able to
Mm.
get those picks on the office players while he's playing Silo? Will he get taken out early? A lot of this depends on Billboard as well. Will Billboard be able to get that Molly down? Will he be able to stall the attack? It seems like a decent number of attackers towards green. As we can see, there's a strong hold right now from Global Breakout in green. This is what they love to do.
Yeah, the frag did go out. I do believe it did clear that barbed wire, so the green entry is clear. Office bomb does go out. Billboard waiting patiently on that. A good smoke forces Colin into a new position. Argo playing super aggressive, does get hit. Oh, as Roadrunner gets dropped. Oh, Colin with the flank. Oh, it was just absolutely punishing here for Nemesis. As Mason Smith still haven't even pushed into that office in the attacking team. Argo swinging out on Death, just proving he has no a complete disregard for his life. As power does go out now, Mace Smith, Argo just waiting here. Billboard taking shots in through that office while trying to get some damage. Mace now rotating back. Death trying to get a slow peek swing here. Colin just waiting patiently now. He did that damage up front, and it's really, really hard now for Nemesis to kind of push in. Mace now reinforcing Death here so that maybe they can start getting something going. Argo on just a sliver of health, though. So Death finds him. Yeah, he's going to go down instantly. Billboard now rotating back. This is going to be a little bit dangerous now because attackers do have control over this front room. Smith slowly making his way into the office. Flash goes out. Picasso tries to take a shot, but Mason already pulled back, so it kind of feigned a little bit. A lot of utility left here for defenders, so they can do some work. Not a lot of time, though. Flash goes out. Smith picks up one. Billboard picks up the one in reply. Oh, and he takes out Death, and that's it.
Whew.
It's all over. Are they going to
Great
pick up
holds
Saber?
there.
They do.
It's interesting. So Global Breakout predictably went for the heavy green hold. Nemesis got control of office. There were not a lot of people positioned to hold office. There is maybe one person toxic, I think Colin, who was already focused on green at the beginning of the round. There's maybe one person silos, I believe that was Chi. Overall, I think Nemesis could have done a little bit more if they just went fast office instead of trying to battle it out in green. That's a good green hold for the attackers. That server farm, as we saw, Argo playing close, baiting the attention of the attackers, and then Colin just sweeping in after getting the 2K with the AK. Really, really well played. Lots of great team play there, and that's always great to see on defense. We're now moving into Ice Lance, the Kill Dome. This is a pretty, established map at this point. Everybody really kind of knows what all of the options are and how to play them. Obviously, there's the quick push through ruins. That can be pretty solidly countered by playing up in jungle or playing in ruins on the right side or just holding castles strong. You can also push through pit. That also can be countered by castle, or the pit players can try and get into castle if they try and push north. Also, you have Beach. That's a pretty easy take for the attack. You don't often see a lot of defenders playing Beach just because the map's so big. You don't really want to be caught out and stuck rotating to go all the way to bomb. So overall, I think we're going to see a pretty heavy concentration of defenders in Castle, maybe some jungle, and then maybe one person Beach to try and throw the Molotov on Lander, which is a very good strategy that Global Breakout like to take advantage of. It looks like Nemesis are positioning for the pit blow. They're definitely worried about players in castle. That's something that's going to be very challenging here. If the castle players are able to get a couple of early picks, that could be pretty bad news for Nemesis. So it really depends. Are they going to be able to get those saber picks on the castle windows? Are Global Breakout going to play it well? It looks like Akazo has the saber actually, so he might be playing some long angles that Nemesis aren't quite ready for. Alternatively, oh, it looks like we have two snipers going out. So Billboard has the mop, Ikazo has the saber. It looks like they might be positioned on the other side of the map for green door though, so they might not quite be ready to counter this pit play. It's going to fall onto Argo and Chi to make sure the attackers don't take too much map control.
Or barbed wire as well come out here, so I'm glad to see that they're really going to be trying to hold these doorways, because that's the most important thing. As we see the door charge come out on pit, the molly, once again, molly placement a little bit squiffy here, does at least cover some of the most of the walkway there. Oh! Akaza with the 2 on this door. It is not going well already for Nemesis. And Mace does pick up one, but goes down. As he picks up one, Argo puts down another. And it's down to a 2-man push here with Mace and Smith. It is a 2v3. Colin with that flank, though. They're on all sides. Mace now kind of pinned. He can either move forward or go back. Oh, he's bailing. All right. He's looking for more maybe gear. He's retreated back to the door. Oh, that punch was so hard from Akazo. He has just been putting in work with those snipes.
Yeah, that was two very clean picks for Ikazo, opening up the round for his team. And as we saw, and as I was talking about, if you get stalled out in the initial push there, if you can't kill the attacker, or sorry, the defender in castle, you're going to run into issues on attack. You're just not going to be able to find a foothold in the round. And that's exactly what happened. We saw 3 people going down before Nemesis even got onto the site. Mace now trying to make something happen, but Colin is there for the trade. Really well played by Global Breakout. We saw a fantastic setup in pit. We had Argo peeking from the drawbridge. We had Ikazo peeking from the window. The attackers are entirely focused on castle itself. Then, as Smith tries to push up pit, tries to take castle control, and even gets that kill onto Argo, Colin's there, ready to clean up, not giving them any room whatsoever. The attackers did not even really make it outside of pit. Mace got maybe 2 steps into jungle before getting taken down. That was very well played by Global Breakout.
Yeah, it was like a pack of wolves just waiting, and just too many angles on that pit entry, and that was kind of one of the dangers there. Was you lost all of your snipers, right? Ikazo is putting in absolute like work, just showing off like how important your long range player is, and just immediately takes out 2, and you all of your power as the attackers is behind the amount of people that you have, right? And that you can rush. And here they just got literally obliterated on the open doorway, and it takes all the power away from the attack, right? And from there it's just you're in survival mode in a room that has very little to no cover, right? Though that's the one thing about Pit is it has a handful of buildings to stop sight lines, but you have nothing to hide behind. You are out in the open most of the time, so it makes that room really really hard to play in once if you're not just trying to transfer through it.
Yeah, absolutely. And Global Breakout definitely took great advantage of all the angles that they were given on that room. Moving now into Saturn Hermit on C Store, we are going to see the wall charge from Global Breakout. It looks like somebody is continuing the tradition. And it's going to be a little bit of a different take. It looks like from Global Breakout. They're going to try and go through storage with the grenade. That is a pretty smart play because, as I said the last time we saw this map, you can open up that shed door, get vision into arcade. It makes a push from storage a lot easier. So if they open up storefront, deny all the storefront angles from the defenders, open up arcade, deny all those angles from the defenders, you leave them with freezer, with fridges, with tellers. That's not a lot of room to work with. So they're really looking to push the defenders into a bunch of bad angles, get them all concentrated on one side of the map, which is perfect for one or two flashbangs for the attackers to come in and clean up. If I'm Nemesis, I'm going to try and go early aggression, really try and deny them from taking up this map control. With small maps like these, you really cannot leave much to the attackers if you're on defense. We might see
This is
Roadrunner get caught out here in
yeah.
a second too.
Well, I mean, it's only Argo there, and it is while it is a shotgun, Roadrunner has the longer range engagement weapon, so
I hope he
uh,
waits for a teammate. Or not.
yep. All right. Well, he ends up getting. I think he tried to open the door and get out of there, but Mikaza now just waiting with that sniper. But they've all fallen back away from that now. So, and it's looking with the way that Sachi is actually firing right now that there isn't
Seems like
that
that door is
door
not
isn't
open.
open. Right.
Yeah, that door is closed.
All right, they do get the push in on this though. Molly does go up, but they're already in, and Smidgood's dropped immediately. Oh my gosh! I think they thought that they had more time. As we see, Billboard picks up Mace on that flank, but Ikazo does get dropped from Brandwan. Death and Brand. Oh, the auto shotgun got picked up by a Billboard. It is down to Brandwan, flashed in the corner, and just gets pistol put down. Oh my gosh. Okay, I think the thing that happened there was Smith and Roadrunner thought that they had more time because the molly went out, but it was late. And
Yeah.
so the attackers were able to slip through into arcade and just lay fire down. They knew that nobody was going to be off a shed because I believe it was Argo was waiting on the back side of that. And that just put it like that just pulled the pin on the whole grenade. So after that, after those two went down, there was just not a lot that could happen. And Mace tried to get a swing from behind, but I believe it was I think it was Argo or Colin were just waiting on or Billboard. Sorry, Billboard was just waiting for him. He was waiting for the rotation. So picked him up and grabbed the auto shotgun, and that was that.
Yeah, and it's tough. Molotovs in their current form are a little challenging for defenders. They are surprisingly slow to throw if you're not throwing them directly at your feet. And so if you throw a Molotov reactive, that means you don't have the Molotov out, you don't have it pre-aimed, you're not ready to just throw it at your feet in front of the door. Odds are the attackers are going to get through it. And that's something that we see exploited a lot, particularly at the high level of gameplay. We'll see people pushing through doors where there might be a molly coming, taking the 10-20 damage from the edge of the molly as they push around it, and surprising defenders as they're in the middle of changing weapons. And it's really effective. It's really hard to counter if you're on defense. You really need to make sure that you are 100% ready to throw the molly down at the very second the attackers push through. Otherwise, they can typically get through it, eat a little bit of damage, and then shoot you as you're changing guns. So it's
Yeah.
hard. And if you wait too long to throw the molly, if you're busy doing something else, then you will get punished almost immediately.
Yeah, and I do. Here we are, Voracious Fang back on this factory map. I just want to point out, I think Global Breakout is in Nemesis' heads, right? So they're like, they did this thing to us, so now we're gonna do it to them like 10 times worse, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
here's Global Breakout going, nah, we're just gonna push Toxic, take over all of that, and then, I mean, if
I'm
Sniper
loving that
stays where
flash on
he's
top of the
at,
sniper.
I know. It's
Yeah.
just like you can
That's
tell
a
they're
read
like
right there.
I wonder if they're going to even just feign green door and then just really push in on that north side. But we'll see how it all comes down to how Nemesis reacts to this situation, which I'm sure they'll make the proper choices here. But it's still death if he finds himself in this position is going to be immediately taken out. Like
Yeah,
he
that's
stands
not
no
good.
chance.
And it's interesting because Toxic is a pretty good hold as defenders if you're playing farther back, right? You can force the attackers to come into pretty predefined angles, right? There's not a lot of room to work with in Toxic. So as attackers come out, as a defender, you pretty much know exactly where to put your crosshair. But if you're playing too far up in Toxic, then you have those exact same problems. There's not a lot of room for you to move away. So if Death is too aggressive here and his teammates, Smith and Brandwan, can't properly defend him as he tries to get out, we may see an early pick going to Global Breakout. It seems like Mace is trying to do the same thing Argo did. We'll see if it works out for him.
Bragg goes out. I hope Argo takes the patience, though. He's got to be patient here. Well, the rest of the team now is going to try to pour in. Now they need to start watching that window, right? You got to get those transfers as they come by. Does look like as Argo pushes in, takes out Death. Mace does get Billboard, and Argo do go down. I feel like that was a little bit incorrect on that push, as Sachi got picked off on the way through Toxic well. It is not looking very clean here, as Ikazo does get dropped right there, and Colin has to fall back. So really clean. I feel like it was mishandled on the server farm area, right?
Yeah.
They had Death. That was the
Yeah.
whole
In the
idea. Clear
open.
out the sniper, and they didn't hold the window. He had to run by. You knew that your team is pushing him now, and it just that kind of fell apart right there. That was a really good hold from Nemesis, but I think Global Breakout kind of gifted it to him. Then they tried to push in on green, and it was just like, yeah, of course they're going to be watching it now. They have 3 people there now instead of 2. So it just was kind of a incorrect way to kind of approach. I think it was a really good plan, just misexecuted.
Yeah, I would have loved to see the green push happen a little sooner and pull the attention of Nemesis towards the green, then the push comes out of Toxic. That said, I think that was really well played by Nemesis too.
Yeah,
Obviously, a solid strategy
absolutely.
by Global Breakout, maybe not perfect execution, but still pretty good, right? Nemesis could very easily have been caught out. Death could have very easily been caught out, but he makes the risky decision. He falls back through green. Teammates support him. Smith and Brandwan are there to clean up everybody in Toxic. So, really good hold on their part. Even though their strategy got a little bit undermined, they were very much ready to accommodate. So, even though the Toxic push happened, there were 2 people right there with long range guns who were ready to try and lock it down. And that push is hard. Like, the only way that ends up being very successful is if the defense doesn't see it coming and they were still pretty prepared. So, overall, I think that was a pretty good read by Nemesis, too. Moving
Yeah, I
on
think
to.
you're.
Oh, go. Sorry,
Well,
go ahead.
I just wanted to hop in on that. I think what you had said about toxic was pretty apt. Where is that the attackers got funneled into some very predetermined positions, and thus you could have a lighter defense force off of that side, and then like Death ended up bailing out towards the green door because that's the side that needed more protection was the green side. So I think that was
Yeah,
really well played
totally.
there.
Yeah, good read by them and shows they are not out of this at all. They are 100% here to play. They're a very smart team. They might have stumbled in game 1, but they are ready to bring it to Global Breakout in game 2. It looks like Global Breakout are going to go for a different play. They're targeting Ruins here instead with a nade ready for the barbed wire that Smith is currently putting down. This could be scary for Nemesis. If Global Breakout move fast, they get bomb control really quickly, and while you can hold bomb from castle, you don't have the best of angles, particularly with flashes coming down on top of you. So this could get a little scary. A lot of this depends on Mace getting these early picks, Smith getting the cleanup, and Roadrunner holding them off on the other side of
Smith
Ruins.
does have the clacker though, and he is spamming
Oh,
that on this
interesting.
door. So it is. Colin's gonna take a lot of damage here. Colin takes no damage here.
Yeah, you could put it on if you
Yeah,
stick
you
too
can
far
get out.
away.
Yeah. Well, I think on this map in particular, because you can just jump off the side, you can place and get
Yeah.
out. So, hey, Smith doing the job and helping them out. I think Roadrunner's going to get a lot of kills here, though. As we just see the 3-man push out in here on base, but there's not a lot of defense here. The grenade does go out. It does clear that barbed wire. So, Barb did get cleared. Okay, Roadrunner's smoke does go out. Oh, the molly is so good, though. Colin took a lot of damage. Sachi does get dropped right after that, too. Ooh, Argo trying to cross in. That's a little bit of dangerous play. Ikazo now trying to work his way in as Roadrunner takes another one off of Argo. Oh man, this is coming apart. Brandwan gets a pick as well on Ikazo as he was working the low side. Okay, Colin does pick up one back. The Molly's still going off up on that red door as Billboard's slowly pushing in. Mace off of the backside as one defender low, two defenders in that castle. This is going to be a hard work for Billboard as he kind of slowly works up. You can't run too far out past those walls as he does pick up one on Brandwan. Starting to push in towards Mace. Oh, can't do it, but Colin did get... Oh, the crossfire was too great. I know, but I think with Smith up in the window and Mace low side, it was... Colin was kind of hurt already too, but man, that was a good round. Really strong defense. It takes us to 3-3 tie game, and we saw different teams winning on different maps too. So certain strategies were working while others were not. So it was it was a good series in that first section. So that does bring us to a whole new set as we move on to a new map.
And it's great to see the differing philosophies in these teams as well. On this particular dome map, we saw Nemesis go for the quick 5-man push. Didn't really work out so well. And then we saw Global Breakout go for the split, and that also got shut down. Both of these teams are making good reads off of each other, playing really well. And even though they have very different styles, they're very aware of what the other's strategy might be and setting up well to counter that. So it's really great to see. Global Breakout, really a solid attempt at salvaging that round. Billboard making some great aggressive plays onto Bomb, but ultimately Nemesis just securing the round, playing that really well, winning their gunfights, playing the trades. Overall, some great due process from them. We're moving now onto Decisive Lock, the kill house of this new half, and it's looking like we might see a kitchen blow here from Global Breakout. Oh, it looks like they're actually thinking about club now. Looks like they're going to go club to office, open up the button, and then I wonder if they're going to go through kitchen. That might be a little complicated, or they try and split through reception to lockers. So this might be a little challenging. They basically have two separate sides of the map they need to figure out. First, they need to secure the button. Then they need to work their way all the way through kitchen or hall or lockers to get into vault. So might be a little bit challenging for them, particularly depending on how Nemesis set up. I don't think we're going to see a very strong club hold from Nemesis here. I would be surprised if they spent a lot of people on it. I think we're really more going to see a greater focus towards the vault itself, playing in hallway, playing in lockers, playing in kitchen, trying to shut down that push for the button as well. Yeah, it looks like we have two people in the room for the button. Death with the mop on Kill House. That's going to be interesting to see. It looks like he's going to try and lock down hallway while Mace is responsible for lockers. So I think Global Breakout have their work cut out for them here. They might have to take, a lot of separate gunfights, a lot of rooms. If they don't use their utility well, if they don't hang on to flashes until the end, they might really find themselves in trouble.
Yeah, if they're not on point with the utility here, and Roadrunner just waiting right now. Oh, Roadrunner does get the rotate out again. They have a player dead to rights, but they just don't cover the rotation point. So Roadrunner makes it out with just maybe 15 health hit. So that's doable. Argo just patiently waiting. You see that billboard, and then we're trading places or trading some fire on reception, but all right, Global Breakout now stacking up.
Good molly.
Go out. Good molly for good frag. So barbed wire is cleared. They now have, and there will be another molly here. As Brandon's just waiting. Oh, he wants to wait to be able to hit him with it.
So are they just gonna go? No, he throws it early.
No,
smart.
Yeah.
Great bait by Argo there.
Ooh, we're starting to see some fire up in this hallway though between Roadrunner, Colin, and Billboard. Mace slowly working his way around. This could be dangerous for Billboard. Okay, he's just getting a sightline. That's good. As they start pushing in for button.
And now this is where Nemesis gets strong. Now that this is open, they can just hold lockers, just hold kitchen. It's gonna get scary.
So Colin did get the rotate here though. So they rotated Colin and funneled him in through office here.
Oh no, Smith.
Oh, as now Mace is gonna try to come back around, but Colin waiting. Nope. So for a certain time, they're gonna get a transfer. Death gets one. Oh my gosh! The crossfire between Death and Mace was
Oh my
too
god.
much. Oh, they had the doorway. I thought maybe while the door was transferring, they'd be able to slide in towards Mace, but Mace just shut that down immediately.
Really
Oh,
interesting
that
there. So
crossfire.
Colin gets into hallway, starts fighting. His team opens vault, and Colin then says, "No, no, no! Close that vault again. I want to get around into hall." So the team closes vault again. In that time, Death gets into the vault room. Colin loops around, gets some useful kills, but ultimately it puts Death and Mace in this beautiful crossfire that completely locks Global Breakout out of vault room. So interesting take there. That's really the challenge with just going club to office is once the vault door is open and all of the defenders are in kitchen, hallway, and lockers, it gets really hard to push. So Colin did make the right call there, telling his team to keep vault closed so that he could get around and try and get some fights in hallway. But it allowed Death to sneak into vault room and ultimately set himself up with a really good angle.
Yeah, I mean that's the one fun thing about maps like that is like the vault door changes so many dynamics
Yeah, I
in
love it.
in the fight, right? Like suddenly there one path gets closed off, which means Colin can't rotate, which you could maybe say is a mistake. Maybe the door should have stayed closed until it was properly called. But yeah, it's just one of those things where it could drastically change what's happening in the game in the live environment.
Yeah, and it's just so fun to have maps that can vary like that. It adds so much to the planning. As defenders, you could really decide what you actually want to play for. Do you want to play for the button? Do you want to play for the vault? It really adds a lot of variation to the strategy because you really have to adapt to what the attackers are doing. For example, if they went lockers in that situation, you'd have to change your strategy and play more aggressively for the button. So we're moving into Fleeting Viper now, C Store. This is one we've seen already a couple of times in this major, and it's a tough map to defend. To be honest, you have that easy storefront blow that gives you pretty direct access to bomb. There's a typical barbed wire that goes down to try and block attackers, but obviously one grenade and that's sort of done. So as an attacker, or sorry, as a defender, you really are stuck in office, you're stuck in freezer, maybe arcade and teller, and it's not a whole lot of room to play with. You can't really set up great crossfires, and the moment attackers get onto bomb, they're really just blocked by tellers. So it can be pretty challenging. You have to hold the attackers aggressively here. You cannot let them take a lot of map control, and it looks like Nemesis are setting up to try and do that. Ooh, great
Immediate
pick by
kick on
Death.
Akazo. That's sniper down too, and he's been putting in so much work. Although Sachi
Woo!
puts Death down. Okay, so both snipers on each team down. We'll see what Sachi can do here as Mace pushes in, but gets crossfired immediately. Colin might get swung on here. All right, he's safe for now. Argo did go down in that firefight as well between Mace on that swing. So now it's down to Billboard, Sashi, and Colin to try to get some stuff done. Colin is such in a precarious position here because it's only him.
Oh, thank you,
Comes in and
Billboard, for
does
that.
take Smith. Yeah, Billboard covers him pretty hard. Sachi, it's just so hard because you're trying to cover your other teammate. You can't just leave one out on his lonesome. And his Billboard gets dropped as Sachi does pick up another. Okay, doing work. Picks up the
Oh,
third.
Chi!
Sachi
New
clutching in
sniper?
on this round. Yeah, right?
Chi better
Okay,
than
Akaza
Ikazo?
can take the night off, right?
There is nothing more personal and due process than losing a 1v1 sniper battle. I can tell you that right now. Death wasting Ikazo first thing in the match. I'm sure that felt very good for him and pretty terrible for Ikazo. Get stuck on map view for the rest of the game. There was a period of time when Nemesis went by the team name Map View for you. That was my particular favorite.
I do like that. All right. Well, hey, good work on you, Sachi, that you really clawed that in. And Billboard, perfect rotation covering teammates. Like that was,
Yeah,
if he would not have swung
yeah, that
that
was a kill for
bathroom, I
Smith
think
right
Colin
there.
was dead,
Yeah,
100%.
for sure.
So
Colin was not even thinking about that angle. I don't know why Billboard decided to go into bathroom at that time, but thankfully he did. I'm sure Colin was very relieved about that one. And a good attempt there by the defense. As we saw, an aggressive long range hold on storefront. That's what you have to do. You cannot allow the attackers to get close, can't let them start flashing you. And they played that quite well, but ultimately were not able to hang on to it. A bit of a questionable call taking the mop on that map because now we're going into Blood Trigger, a really big factory, and that is leaving the attackers with two snipers. They're going Mop and Saber. Remember that the Mop is a one-shot kill on defenders. So it's going to leave them in a pretty tough spot. I think we're probably going to see a push through. It looks like server farm into office from the way they have that nade positioned. You could also blow the red door at the top left of the map. That gives you pretty good access to factory floor, but obviously you need to be pretty worried about the office hold. In general, office is a pretty useful room on this map. It allows you to lock down a decent amount of factory floor, and it gives you some pretty solid angles onto bomb. Dock isn't a terrible blow either, but it does leave you a little exposed. Toxic, like most toxics, it can be valuable. It is good to rotate through, but pushing 5 people through there can quickly leave you trapped. So overall, a good map for defenders. I think this one is pretty balanced and overall offers a couple of different options. It looks like we might see a split through toxic and server farm. It seems like Global Breakout want to lock down one of the potential avenues for the defenders if they try and hold aggressively on server farm, and then use that to sort of get into office and carve off the right side of the map. From there, it'll really force the
Ooh,
defenders into some bad positions. So it really falls on Mace to hold office here, as well as Roadrunner on Death to hang on to that aggressive green door hold. Seems like
double
not a lot
sniper
of a
coming
great
up here.
presence in Toxic either, so Global Breakout might get that for free.
Yeah, this is gonna be dangerous too because this is double sniper. Ikazo and Billboard both running Billboard on the Mop and Ikazo on Saber. So if they can get any of these long range fights, it's going to be pretty tough. As we see Global Breakout starting to make their way towards this toxic door, you see Roadrunner and Mace will be the first to respond as Death is kind of watching on that back side. So there is a heavy presence on that green door, which could offer a little bit of like fits for Billboard and Argo here as they start pushing in on the Saber front. We do see the breach go out. Pretty clear so far. Barbed wire does go out to clear green Barb as they begin to push in, and Smith. Oh, the wall bangs just come out hot and heavy to begin with, and Akazo's already dropped.
Collins 1 HP.
Oh, and another one
no.
picks up Sachi as well. Oh my goodness, they just have the avenue lined up. The fire is just raining hell down on these long angles, and there's nothing that Global Breakout can do. Colin at like 2 health right now. They finally get power. An objective has been claimed, but there's literally no damage on any, and Roadrunner's just waiting. Watch this. He's just waiting patiently off of this green door. He hasn't swung yet or anything. Mace just patiently waiting with that auto shotgun too. This is dire right now.
They're
re-gearing up. No, they're re-gearing up. Okay, well, I mean, they could be.
Oh,
Billboard. Okay. They're not in the far room anymore, and Colin got picked off from something. He ended up getting hit, I think, through the wall as well. Argo just trying to do something, but this is just not looking good.
What a round.
Oh my gosh, just an absolute slaughter.
Yeah, it's 5-4 there, so obviously you can't save. You just got to go for it. It seems that's why Billboard just decided to run into green. But overall, it was rough. I mean, Nemesis, a great counterplay on Toxic going for the spam. Global Breakout clearly were not at all ready for it, but also didn't really adjust afterwards. So they lost the damage, they lost players, and then they just stopped, right? They didn't do anything afterwards. And then the time got so low that they just sort of, ran and got killed. So, not a great adjustment, but overall, a fantastic play from Nemesis. Honestly, some of their reads on these maps have been on another level and even better than what Global Breakout is doing. Just the way they're setting up, the way that they're playing to counter the attacks of Global Breakout, it really seems like Nemesis have a strong understanding of the meta of each map and the best way to counter each room.
Yeah, the crossfire was just too great from that walkway dock combo in on Toxic, and there's just if they're shooting in a straight line and you're running in a straight line, you can't dodge those bullets, right? It's over. It's over at that point.
Yeah, Toxic, in my opinion, is always so dicey. It's good, to maybe flank from and try and get unexpected angles from. But if you're a defender, the one thing you want attackers to do is run in a straight line, and Toxic basically forces you to do that. So every single time you try and push through there, you're always going to end up in a choke point, and particularly because some of those railings are such great head glitches, you can find some defenders in some really nasty spots. It's overall a really, really tough room to push.
Yeah, and this looks like it's going to be another. I like what Nemesis is doing on this map. They're kind of reading this in a stronger way, which is push up to lockers, hold lockers with the team, right? Other team push office, get button, and then we push in from lockers and office, right? It's
Yeah.
kind of close the vice together on this map to
And
get to the
I
vault.
think the lockers push into vault is the best way to do it. It's just such a short path. Whereas if you try to go from office to kitchen to hallway, like we saw Global Breakout try to do, it's just
Mm-hmm.
too many doors. It's too many doors. It's too many angles. The time's already going to be a little low. You just can't do it very well. The lockers to vault push is really fast, really easy. So I think Nemesis are on the are have the right idea here in trying to make sure they have enough map control to eventually push onto the bomb. Some
So
great wall
Billboard
bangs on
playing way more,
Nikazo.
yeah, and Billboard also playing really aggressive on this door push here.
Oh wow, Billboard almost no HP from those wall bangs.
Yeah, yeah, he ended up falling back. I think he got flashed and then got stuck on the wall. As Roadrunner starts pushing in, Billboard trying to just put in some damage down. As we see the push in on Club. Oh, Sachi gets taken out throwing that molly, but can delay for just a little bit longer. Mace now rotating back. Nope, he's just changing position. As we see them starting to stack up, grenade goes out. That now clears barbed wire. I'm surprised no Flogel barb's been going out after that. There is a door there. As they begin pushing in, button goes out. Alright, now you said this is where defense gets a lot stronger. Oh, Billboard finally gets dropped through those wall bangs. Okay, so we got 3 defenders now, holding in lockers and off of... Oh, Ikazo gets that snipe. So good. Argo
Oh,
picks
that's a
up
big
Mace off the
kill.
backside. Stalwart defense holding right now for defenders. Oh no, Ikazo, alright. He falls back. Colin? Oh no! Gotta cover that boy as he falls back. Okay, so we're back in the same position with the... Oh, the crossfire's so good. Argo's just gotta hold, don't push. Colin's just gotta hold inside the vault right now. There you go. You got one more, you got funnel. He's gotta go 180. Okay, it's down to Smitten Colin right now. Oh! Oh, the trade! Oh,
Wow.
right at the end!
Oh
Oh!
no.
It was
Wow.
a headshot from an LS. I heard it go off and it dropped Smith right there. Oh my goodness.
Beautiful.
That
Absolutely
was
beautiful.
amazing. Well,
What a round.
what a
And
defense.
Nemesis started off with such a great advantage. They had, I think, 4 people pushing into kitchen, and still, it's just so hard to push through that hallway. The
Yeah.
moment that vault door gets open, you just cut down so many angles that the defenders need to worry about, and all of a sudden, it's Wallbang City. They have one single door that they need to watch. It just gets so dangerous. Mace going down in lockers really hurt their team there. If Mace just stayed
Yeah.
alive and Argo was more worried about lockers than he was about hallway, maybe that push is a little easier. But because
Hmm.
Argo was able to take that map control, all he had to do was sit in lockers, distract the attackers long enough, and do that wallbang damage through the wall, and shut the team out. So overall, they just really needed, both teams needed a stronger presence in lockers if they wanted to see that round succeed.
Yeah.
Moving
Yeah, Argo
into
Argo did his job. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Really well played by both the knack players in lockers. I believe it was Mace for Nemesis who also secured the
Hmm.
round for his team. So
Yep.
really good plays there. Moving into Fleeting Viper C Store, we saw Nemesis play a pretty long range aggressive hold on this as defense. It looks like they're going to do the exact same thing Global Breakout did on attack, which is go for the wall charge push. I think we're going to see Nemesis go a lot faster. We see the smoke there. They're really worried about the long range angles that they were taking, so they're going to try and shut those out and then push as quick as they can onto bomb. Global Breakout have 2 barbed wires set up here. might not go for a third just because the map is so small. But ultimately, they really need to worry about the strong freezer and bomb hold. Make sure that Nemesis don't take that early map control, particularly with that smoke coming down. They're going to need to make good use of Molotovs in order to ensure that the attackers can't push up quickly without worrying about those long range angles that Billboard, Colin, and Ikazo can take. So interesting to see how Nemesis will play this one in terms of tempo. I think they're going to try and go a lot faster if they can.
Yeah, surprisingly, no snipers this map. Unlike last time.
Yeah, I
I
think
think everybody just wants to get down and dirty and fight on this map instead of going for snipes. So
yeah, they
as
learned
we
their lesson after the double sniper on Factory.
so we see them starting to push in on this door. Smith gets the door charge laid down as Nemesis is doing what they do best, and that's assault the storefront. Kazo just laying down that long-term fire as they finally starts being able to spread in. Argo with that flank. Beautiful smoke. Again, huge crossfire going out in this Teller from Teller into storefront, but not a lot happening here. Most everybody's alive. Roadrunner a little bit hurt, but overall, Argo swings, gets one, gets two, pushing
Oh,
three.
Argo.
Oh, what a three banger right here
You
for
can't
Argo,
let him
and
do
he's
this.
able to get
He
out,
gets
but
away.
Argo, Mace doesn't get a pick on Kazo on that backside. Argo now making his way out of there. He is hauling around the side of this map trying to find a way in. Oh, picks up a new gun. All right, so it is a 2v2 right now. So this is still
Great
totally winnable for
crossfire.
Nemesis.
Oh,
Colin gets one. Mace now going to try to push him. Flash goes out. Colin trying to stick the damage. Argo now makes his way. Oh, he's got the flank. Oh, he sees him now though. Mace does know. He's got to be aware.
that Teller hold is strong though. Argo
Yeah,
could
it
shut
is.
down this
It
round
is.
just by himself.
Yep. Yeah, he's made his way into Teller now. Mace is in real trouble. He drops
1
gun. He
HP to
was out of
3.
ammo. Yeah, he's barely survived. This is gonna be such a hard hold. If he can get this, it's gonna be best hold of all time. He's still got time to work with too. Oh, he
Oh,
can't. He can't hold it. Argo with the four banger on this one. Man, what a hard fought. That flank perfectly timed. Busted out, got two. I was a little bit worried because his first kill was on Roadrunner, who was really hurt off of that initial push anyway. So it might have just been, well, you just mopped him up, right? Which is not a lot of damage. But then he picks up two more, and that was,
I
whew.
don't know how he got the third. The second one, okay, fantastic play from Argo. A third kill? Like, what is, like, how do you even do that with a tub? That's so impressive.
Hot tub.
It's fantastic play.
No, really,
Yeah.
really well played from Argo. Really showing that he's kind of picking up a little bit of steam now as well. So that's good for this. Is that it does take Global Breakout to a 5-6 right now. So they have taken the lead.
And this is it. This is it right here. Nemesis need this round, or they will go out 3-0 to Global Breakout. This is a huge round. There's a lot on the line here. And
Yep.
both teams, I'm sure, are tense. They want this. They need this. They've already played one full match. They're a little tired. And this is what it comes down to. This single round will determine whether or not we go into another match or Global Breakout walk away with first place and the prize pool. More than anything, I'm sure that they will be excited to get the first notch in their legacy against one of the most storied and successful teams in due process. Either way, I think this is going to be a huge round. And it looks like Nemesis are learning a little bit from their hold on this map. They're a little more worried about server farm, not going to go toxic. It looks like Global Breakout are trying to play a little bit more aggressively. They have the Barb in Office, they have the Barb in Toxic. I wonder if they're going to hold server farm or they're going to give it up and then try and play the doors. Typically, as a team, they like to go pretty aggressive on green with a defensive hold there, but we'll see how they decide to adapt to this. It looks like Nemesis want to commit 3 flashbangs just to the first room, so obviously they know how aggressively Global Breakout like to play.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting go because it doesn't look like Nemesis is really. They're just going for a solid green push, right? So, and they haven't given us. It looks like they really want to push office more than anything, right? Get up into office, get out the window, get on the backside, and then you get more angles and more avenues to be able to emerge from the server farm, which is
I
only
wonder, are
a
they going
couple
to
of our life.
door green or are they going to door office? They have the door charge. They haven't marked where they want to
I think
use
they're
it.
dooring office. I think they're worried about that. There is no barb in there though, so I mean it's gonna be kind of not necessary. If you were gonna push toxic, that's where you're gonna have to use it. But billboard already the sacrificial lamb,
It's a
but
good
that's
opener.
already the damage. It's a good opener, right? Any trade that you can do as a defender is a win in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Right?
So much
Flashes
util
go
used
out.
on that room for nothing. That's one flash now left on the attackers. One flash, one grenade. This isn't great.
Two smokes. And Sachi and Argo just waiting patiently in the office now. Calling on that backside flank too. And Ikazo just chilling out. Waiting to get that they've got all the doors covered here. Mace pushes in. Okay. Molly goes out. Frag went out. Oh, Argo gets picked off by Death though. Okay, it makes it a little bit more difficult here. It is a 4v3, so Sachi now on that long angle. Death is going to be able to do a lot of work here. Good smoke as they start spilling out the backside of office now. Another good smoke as they're now taking control of that whole other side. Ooh, Brand 1 does get picked up from Kazo though on that long angle. Smith now pushing up on the thing. Death now in the smoke. Colin trying to get across. Picasso going for the trade. Does drop, but oh, Death picks off his own member. Sachi gets Death from behind. It's all down to Mace. It is a two-man
10
V1.
seconds.
No, yeah, Mace has to go now. He has no time left. Oh
Is he just
no,
sitting
I think
there?
he's. Oh, he
Is he?
fell! He fell inside the
Oh
map!
no.
Oh, it
Oh
couldn't happen
wow.
any worse.
Wow, what an ending.
Oh, that's so brutal. Oh boy.
Oh
That's
wow.
not the way you want to end that
Yeah.
round. Oh, that's a heartbreaker right there.
Oh man.
That gets
And
about as anticlimactic as you can get right there.
yeah, it's so
Oh.
interesting there. It's a really interesting adjustment from Global Breakout. So that's a team that we know loves to play green doors on defense. Every single factory, they have an aggressive hold in that first room, to the point that Nemesis spent 3 flashbangs, I think actually 4 flashbangs, just on the first room. They were so worried about it. But instead, for the very last round of the match, Global Breakout do something they don't typically do, which is play quite passive, and Nemesis end up spending almost the entirety of their inventory, at least the the most useful components of it, on a room where nobody's actually playing. So I wonder if Global Breakout had that in mind. Either way, it worked out massively in their favor. It left Nemesis woefully underprepared for the rest of the push. They really only had one flashbang. They made great use of their smokes. It was a pretty solid push, but overall, Global Breakout were just ready to play that passive game, hold the long angles, play the crossfires, and Nemesis were not quite ready for that.
7475 global breakout. Take it 3-0 on Nemesis. The mighty have fallen. The gods do bleed. So it's congratulations to them. Global breakout. Finally, keep taking we have a new champion for in one of the tournaments. Really well played.
Absolutely. It's so exciting to see new teams come onto the scene and make their mark. I know everybody loves Nemesis, but it's just so fun to see fresh blood, see their way of playing the game. They kind of have a different meta as compared to Nemesis. And it's just so fun to watch. It was such a fantastic game the whole way through. I know Global Breakout won 3-0, but each map itself was pretty close. A lot of rounds coming down to maybe 10, 20 points of damage or 10, 20 seconds. Really, every single time it was a close battle between the two teams. And I don't really think the final scoreline reflects just how tight this match was. I think every round really required 100% from every player, and they absolutely gave it. So what a fantastic match to watch, and we might be seeing the beginning of a new era in due process. It's very exciting. So I think we have a lot more to see from Global Breakout. I'm sure they will be very happy to be walking away with number one and the prize pool. Overall, really well played by both teams, but ultimately Global Breakout playing some fantastic due process today.
Yeah, some really fun some rounds here. I mean, and I know we had some technical difficulties, but we did get to see some really fun rounds that yeah, I mean, it just came down to the wire. Some really good plays, really clean, crisp calls, and yeah, it was just a very fun series. So congratulations again, Global Breakout, winners of the DPL Fall Major. And a congratulations for Nemesis for putting up an amazing set of games for our enjoyment.
Yeah, I believe they'll be walking away with some prize money as well, so that's
Mhm.
not too shabby from them. Overall, though, what a great tournament! It was really fun to see all the teams come out and compete. Had a lot of fun just watching all the different matches, seeing all the different strategies and approaches. Every team just plays the game just a little bit differently, and it's really fun to see what works and what doesn't.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and with that, I am the ZGEC.
I am
This was,
Index.
and I just want to say thank you from the DPL for watching the Fall Major with us, and we hope to see you in the next one.